Okay, so I just got done recording all my updates for all the languages I took this morning, and I didn't really want to do this, but I feel like for me personally, this is really important to document, because someday I'll look back on this and think I was being so silly. But so this whole thing of like becoming the learner, for me, it's noticing these moments of progression or epiphanies, or just kind of a place for me to put my thoughts when my thoughts get crazy sometimes. Can't imagine why. It's because I'm learning 4 languages at the same time. But so today I had a German class and it was amazing, and I had a Portuguese class and it was so much better than the week before, and it was great because I felt like I was back on the train again, even if it was just hanging on by the handrails at the end of the caboose. I was on it. And then I had a Chinese class after that, and I went through this emotional roller coaster of having a really, really great, easy, it's not even really that it was great. I had a very easy experience with German because I'm at the very beginning of German. It was, relatively easy. The story was not complicated. Everybody's at the same place as me, all this stuff. And then I went to Portuguese, and since I'm all about transparency, I was trying to be tough. I knew that the teacher was going to call on me a lot because that was the feedback that she had gotten the week before, was I'm like the barometer or the measuring stick of what's going on at the tail end of the class, and that if I'm on the train, everybody else is on the train, which is great. I am all about being that person. If I'm making sure that nobody gets left behind, fine. But I still my confidence is just still not there in Portuguese yet. And it's aggravating. It's so frustrating for me because I felt what it felt like to have it. Like before, a week ago, at the beginning of August, basically, I felt like I was doing so good in Portuguese. I felt like I was getting it. I definitely wasn't the top of the class, but I don't need to be the top of the class. I was getting it though, and that made me feel really good. And so when I tumbled around and got knocked off the train and all this stuff, and I'm still recovering, and it's hard. It is hard. It's hard to struggle after feeling that sweet amazingness of not struggling. And I know everyone knows this. I know everyone knows about this, because that's just, those moments of struggle, they suck really bad because they're just sucky. They're just bad. And in class, I had gotten called on quite a bit, which I expected, but didn't make it any easier when I was called on. And after a few times of getting called on, I just couldn't handle my feelings of inadequacy. Like, I just couldn't do it. And I started crying. And this is why I didn't want to talk about this today. It's because I don't want anyone's sympathy. I don't want anybody to feel bad for me. I don't want people to be like, it's okay, you don't speak Spanish. It's okay, whatever. And I don't want people to do that, so I don't usually talk about it. But I want to talk about it in this video for myself, because when I get over this massive hill that I feel like I am on right now with Portuguese. I want to come back and remember how it felt while I was climbing, so that it'll just make enjoying the top that much better. And because I feel like this struggle, especially in language learning, is something that people don't talk about. And it's aggravating because, like last week, I was just like, I don't get it. I feel like I'm the only one who doesn't get it, and blah, blah, blah. And there was like a bunch of other people in the class who felt the same way, and nobody talks about it, and I hate that. So if you're learning a language, doesn't matter what language it is, doesn't matter what number of language it is for you, there are going to be points where it just sucks. And the only thing that's keeping you going is that you either know that you know that it's not going to last forever, or you're just really stubborn, like I am, because I hate quitting. I really do. I don't like quitting because I feel like I'm not visualizing, I'm not seeing the potential that I have to overcome that problem, because I want to just quit. Whereas if I just realize, no, you can do this, it's just going to suck while you do it. So, but yeah, so I turned my video off and my microphone. I might have forgotten my microphone at the first few minutes, but that's okay. I remembered before I really lost it. And then I just cried for a few minutes. Then I stopped, and then I fanned my face and washed my face and came back and listened for a little while everybody else was still talking, until I didn't look like I had just lost it. And then I jumped back in the class. And it's just like, it's hard. It's hard stuff. But I talked to a friend of mine who's in that class, and he told me that he was over very, very nice to me. Shouldn't have been this nice to me. But he basically told me, like, I'm a necessary caboose to this train, and that my struggle is, he sympathizes with my struggle and how hard it probably is, but that because I'm struggling, I'm helping the class to be a better class, and I'm helping the teacher to be a better teacher, and like all these things that through my struggle are benefiting a lot of other people, and that I know that through my struggle I'm also benefiting me. It just doesn't feel like it right now. So that helped. That was nice, just to feel like, okay, this struggle has a purpose and a function, even if I don't feel like it does in the moment for me, that it's still benefiting everyone who, in the moment, I feel like I'm slowing everyone down. I feel like I'm making the class so boring because I just can't understand a lot of the excessive details. But at the same time, it's like, well, because I have to have everything slowed down and I have to have everything pretty simple, that means that everyone else is on the train. I'm bringing up the, I'm the no person left behind person. Because the teacher knows if I'm on the train, everyone else is already on the train too. So being the learner is hard. But if you really want to learn and progress, you have to be willing to do stinky things sometimes. So yes, someday this is going to be a great journal to look back on. Might not feel like it right now, but it will. So to my future self who might be watching this, good job not quitting. And don't you feel better now? Aren't you so proud of yourself that you didn't quit? That's what I thought. So cheers to being the learner and being really good at getting kicked around. And hey, if that's the only skill I get out of this is I can take a lot, that's a pretty good skill.